Hey friends, what's going on? So we've been waiting for another patch now. Obviously, a lot of the stuff that people have been talking about is the durability, the weapons, and everything like that. Well, they released a excuse me, released a new patch to the public test beta just recently, a little bit ago, and we just want to cover some of these. I've been trying to stay out of the dark on giving spoilers and everything like that. But so if you haven't played the public test, there's been a lot of issues with durability and weapons and armor and repairing and upgrading weapons and everything like that as well. So they've actually addressed a lot of these issues. So we're just going to break down some of the big ones, and then we'll just go ahead and scroll through some of the smaller ones as well. Some of the things that have been talked about in the public test feedback and suggestions and stuff like that. A lot of the issues that people have been having look like they're getting fixed. So let's break into it here. So bugs alone, excuse me, there's apparently a lot of crash has been going on. I know a lot of people with the Xbox on console, people that are playing on console, have a lot of issues. The last update, Hot and Hazy, when I started a new game, it kept crashing on me, and that was on PC. I haven't had any issues with the public test on this one, so I'm glad that I haven't had any issues. But I'm also glad that these other crashes are getting fixed, because I know a lot of people like to play the public test just like I do. So it's good that they're fixing some of these crashes, and hopefully these players that are affected by this can get in and play some more. So crashes related to grid buildings that could happen when using the hot deposit. Creature audio loading, that's a weird one. Related to closing the map, that's another weird one. Looks like ladders no longer adopt strange rotations when being added to existing grids. So I've noticed that if you guys have seen my streams or seen some of my videos, I've got ladders in my base, and when I was trying to put them up there, it was just giving you like an awkward location to place them. It wouldn't line up with anything. It was really weird. I was able to work around it, but it looks like that's a permanent fix now. So I'm guessing Xbox Series X no longer randomly hitches. That's good. Here's a big one. The Termite King pathing improved. So I've fought the Termite King. Well, I fought him originally before the previous patch, and he just was not strong whatsoever. We kind of ran right through him. Getting bombarded by about 5 or 6 termite soldiers and regular termites were actually more difficult than fighting the Termite King. But he's also been stuck in the wall a few times. Had to use the creature reset, so it looks like that's kind of fixed. Pathing improved. Will no longer wait to attack while other smaller termites are around, so that's good. So it looks like when you get down into his den, he's just going to come right at you whether there's termites there or not. So that's cool. That's actually going to make it a lot more difficult, and it's going to be similar to the Broodmother fight where she has her little spiderlings and Orbweaver Juniors with her. Walk animations are no longer really fast. I didn't really notice that. Larger bugs should get stuck in the terrain less. That's good, because if you notice the black ox beetle, and I guess on a similar note, the ladybugs and ladybirds get stuck a lot too. Photo models in the data tab display correctly. That's good. Black ox beetle rock attack is no longer blocked by grass. That happened recently on a stream where I was able to cheese the black ox because he's trying to throw his rock and it kept getting hitting the dry grass. And in my opinion, if a rock is heavier than grass, so that makes sense. Burgle no longer give the Chip Sleuth quest to the player that has already completed them, basically. So I didn't have that. I don't do a lot of Burgle quests anyways because they're basically pointless right now. So I guess a lot of people were having issues with it given quests that you've already done for the Burgle chips. So that's good. Burrowing creatures no longer show their name when the players look at them. I mean, that's obvious. That's kind of cheating if you're able to tell if it's a grub or a larva down underneath. UI will no longer incorrectly imply that bombs can damage tier 2 and 3 resource nodes. That makes sense. Hedge cutscene works properly for clients. Haven't seen that yet, but I'm glad that's fixed, obviously. Fixed a few science placements. I actually went into their Discord and reported a few of these. So there's been that one up on top of the trash can and the trash heap over under the handle that's been there forever. They added a new one that you can get, but that one that was still previously inaccessible was still like that. So hopefully that one's fixed. And then there's one in a flower pot up on the deck of the shed, or the porch rather. There was two. There's one on top of the flower pot, and then there was one like stuck in the wall. So I'm assuming they just got rid of those and combined them into one, because I don't think there's supposed to be two. Building customization camera placement has been improved in certain scenarios. That's good, because sometimes you get really wonky camera angles when you're trying to build stuff. So hopefully that's smoothed out a little bit. Beefy smoothies can be crafted in creative mode. Cool for people that play creative mode. I don't. All right, so that's all the bugs. Excuse me. And look at the balances and changes. Again, these are some of the things, and like I said, try to keep it spoiler free. I don't want to talk too much about what's going on in the public test, but these are some of the issues that a lot of people have voiced their concerns, I guess is the nice way to say it, with what they've done with this update. So let's get into it. Cortana animations have been updated. I didn't know there was an issue with that, but good. Charcoal sizzle damage has been increased. That's crazy. Well, I mean, I guess so. If you're standing right on top of the hot coal, you should be burning it up real quick. Ammo radial supports paging now that more than 8 arrow types exist. That makes sense. You need to increase the amount that are shown on there. Black Ox and Ladybird audio adjusted. Okay. So I guess they're going to give them, I would assume that they give the Ladybird maybe a different sound as opposed to just the regular Ladybugs. I don't know. Maybe because they're aggressive, so they're going to sound meaner. The Black Ox beetles are just cool, so whatever sounds they make, as long as it's not like a screech like the larva from before, I'm fine with. Additional icons added for items that were using placeholders makes sense. And these are some of the things they're going to get to. A lot of the stuff they just put in as placeholders until they actually get the imagery done and stuff like that. So some of these are to be expected. Light, medium, and heavy armor effects have unique icons. I'm curious to see what that's like. We'll get into it. Plus 25 to 50% durability for all weapons to compensate for higher repair costs. That's going to be interesting to see. That's one of the big complaints that a lot of people had, or concerns rather. Sorry, try to keep it nice here. That a lot of people had. So we'll see if it's going to reduce the amount of farming that you have to do. Oh, another thing with that too is there's also a lot more nodes now that you can harvest between the spicy candies, the mint candies. Salt, not so much because you still don't get a lot of salt, but quartzite is abundant. The issue is going around all these different areas and getting the resources right. It's not about how many there are, and it seemed like they did that a little bit where they just started adding more and more candies and more locations to get the stuff, which doesn't really eliminate the farming. So hopefully the durability lasting longer will definitely make a change for that, so you don't have to farm as much, or at least if you do farm, your resources are going to last longer. You don't have to farm as frequently. Reduced base repair costs for most tier 3 tools and weapons. Reduced base repair costs. Okay. Woe mode, which we have a woe mode playthrough right now, and I haven't touched in the public test beta because I already knew the durability was a pain on medium, so trying it on woe mode, I figured it was going to be bad, so I guess it was a 50% penalty on durability, so now that's reduced to 25%. So now we can jump into our woe mode once the update drops and check that out. Globs now cost 20% less shards to craft, 1 less for candy, 2 less for quartzite and salt. If I'm not mistaken, for quartzite, I think it's 10, and for salt, it's 8, so those are going to reduce by 2, so quartzite to 8 and salt to 6, which is actually really good. 1 less for candy, I'm fine with, because you get a ton of the spicy and mint candies anyways. Scarabs now drop 2 to 5 twinkling shells instead of 1 to 2. That, I think, Scarabs should still be a challenge, because you shouldn't make it too easy to upgrade to level 8 and 9, in my opinion. So if you're going to, I mean, we'll see what the drop rate is on when you get 5 of them. Because I've killed probably about 10 to 15 of them, and I've never gotten more than 1 shell, so we'll see. If it's anything like the crow feathers, I would assume, then you're not gonna get the high end of it very often, so that should be good. Slightly reduced height of bounce web bounce hitbox. Okay, I only have 1 bounce web that I use just to get on top of the fertilizer bag. Players can no longer walk on constructed wall pieces. So that's going to be nice. I mean, I don't use it. I actually try to build structures that look somewhat realistic, so that doesn't affect me. The sizzle rate has been slowed down. That makes sense. You're going to take more damage. You need to lower the rate, kind of even it out. Remove base green thumb chance while growing normal mushrooms in the garden. Haven't touched the gardens because they're kind of useless. Pupas or pupas hanging from ceilings can now be knocked down like the berries in the hedge. And I assumed they were going to do that. So I'm guessing you just shoot them down with an arrow, but I would think that you still have to chop them with the axe, the tier 3 axe. Hanging from the ceilings now properly respawn. Okay. New food item, Termite Delight. We'll have to check that out. So that's the second meal. You had the Black Ox Burger and now the Termite Delight. Fall damage no longer affects durability in any way. I didn't know that was an issue, but maybe that adds on to how much durability was getting hit if you were taking fall damage. Survey stations now cleanly cover all playable areas of the backyard once all are discovered. Okay. New Jack and Ball art. Okay, cool. Probably just threw some stickers on there or something. updated VFX for black ox beetles and termites. Okay. Terrain polish, locations to discover, item icons added. Okay. And updates to the status effect display in the backpack and status tabs. Okay, cool. So obviously the big talking point is going to be the durability and repair costs and everything like that for the weapons. So I'm glad that they've addressed it. We'll see how much it tipped the scale one way or the other, and go from there. But we're going to jump into this and test some of the stuff out some more in our next stream. So that's all we got for this video, guys. Just check it out. Maybe if you were kind of hesitant to play the public test beta because of all the issues that you heard about, maybe now you want to jump in and try it out. So, but again, that's all we got for this video, guys. Just a quick one going over these this patch for the update, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching again. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Stay original, my friends. Later.